welcome back to another episode of Wormys Playhouse. And today we're going to be talking about my first impressions of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild on the Wii U and Nintendo Switch. So this game does it live up to the hype? Is a game that great and is it that phenomenal? Why, yes it is, and boy does it ever exceed it. It goes above and beyond my expectations of a Legend of Zelda game, or any game in that matter. So now there's so much to talk about this game and in this episode. I'm going to be doing this spoiler free as much as I can. If I do talk about spoiler, it'll be towards the end, and maybe I'll tell you and then everything. So I'm going to try and keep it as spoiler free as possible. Anyways, on to the discussion! So, there's so much to talk about. Legend of Zelda on the Switch just released March 3rd. We've been waiting for this game for so many years now, from when they announced it for the Wii U, and it just took forever and ever, and they pushed it back, and it's built up so much anticipation and hype. And now that it's finally here, it is amazing. I have been spending all my free time, and even time that I don't have free, I have been playing that game. It took me forever to finally do this episode, because I've been playing this game non-stop. There's so much to explore in this game. The world is so massive. This is not going to stay up. I'm going to do the best. The world is so massive. There's so much to explore. Now, basically, Nintendo finally went an enormous open world concept game. If you look at the original Legend of Zelda game, it was totally free range, and you weren't sure what to do. You just explored the world and try to discover and figure out how to play the game, what to do next in the game, and just go wherever you would like. And they took that to the extreme. If you can kind of combine the original Legend of Zelda and Skyrim, I guess you can say that's what you get out of this game. There was just so much to discover, and you have to discover. That's what the makers wanted. That was their intent, was for you to discover the world and go explore. Because you're going to miss things. If you don't explore every aspect, you're going to miss things. You're going to miss, secrets. There's so many secrets to discover, stories to unfold, that you can miss out on storyline. You can miss out on shrines and dungeons. You can miss out on items and weapons. There's just so much to do. But don't be discouraged from that, because they make it very easy for you to go out and want to explore everything. They make it very simple. Like, that was their intent, and it is amazing. I have to say that. So you start off with nothing in this game on the Great Plateau, and you open your eyes and you begin the game, and the game just jumps right into it. There's no long story, to unfold at the beginning, because that comes. It throws you right into the game. You're just waking up. So it's like you are the Link, in Legend of Zelda, and you have nothing. You're just in your underwear, and you have to explore this world, go out, and there's enemies, and you're like, well, what do? I don't have anything, and you have to just go and find everything. You can find all the weapons, and the way they handle the weapons in this game is really interesting. I'm sure other games have done this, but not to this certain tweak that they have. So every item that you get, certain strength and durability level. What I mean by that is that it's gonna degrade and it's going to break. And I don't mean, in the future and it's gonna break. It's gonna break soon, very soon. As in one battle with a group of enemies, you're going to be going through, there's times when you go through multiple weapons. Your weapon will break and make, that's my favorite weapon! There's no fixing it, there's no way to repair your weapons and make them stronger in that sense. Because the reason for that is that they want you to just get an awesome weapon, and bam, you broke it. Now what do? I have to try and figure this out. Steal my enemy's weapon, find another way to destroy these guys, do something else. Go around and go in stealth mode and sneak around, find new items. So don't get attached to your weapons, because they're going to break. I found my first favorite weapon that I found, at the beginning of the game, I found this awesome flame sword, and I was like, wow, this is so cool! Boom, broke it. I'm like, how did I do that? Now what do? Well, I gotta use another weapon now, so I gotta find something else. And you'll get more weapons. They come. They're all over the place. You'll be finding them in treasures, and you'll find them, you'll be stealing them from other enemies, which that's another cool concept, is trying to figure out how to attack, to form a battle plan. There's many times where I've gone through and attacked enemies, and I just head right in and started swinging away, and boom, you're dead. Boom, you're dead. Every time, boom, you're dead. Alright, let me step back and figure this out. Let me try and sneak around, and maybe if I come across something, I can maneuver the environment or shoot an arrow and just try and do like a stealth sneak attack and then start attacking. So that you've really thought about the way you attack. And there's multiple ways to attack. There's multiple things that you can do. Which another thing is, you're gonna die in this game. You're going to die a lot. All the time. If you expect to get through this game without dying, you're dying. right off the bat, I'm still constantly dying. Enemies just constantly getting harder and harder. It's like, boom, one hit, you're dead. And you can build your hearts up, but boom, one hit, you're dead. And it's like, what is going on? Which makes you step back, because you'll go in full force and then think, okay, just died, now what? I'll step back and try and figure this out, and let me go about it a different way. And then it makes you develop your skills of how you attack. And the whole attacking is a little bit different. The Z targeting system is a little bit different. If you know Z targeting from other Zelda games, it is slightly different now. Where you can still like Z target, like size up and get your stance, and when you move, you'll constantly kind of follow him, but you won't 100% be locked on him. You'll be locked on him, but you're not 100% because you can swing away, you can still miss. The whole point of it is you have to learn how to dodge, because you can dodge. It won't like prompt and say, oh, dodge, hey, dodge. No, you gotta time it perfectly. You gotta see that sword, physically watch the sword come and figure out that I need to time it at this pristine moment to either backflip an attack or side jump an attack. And I mean, if you play the game, you understand what I mean. It's a little bit different from the original Z target. It's more difficult, which makes the game more exciting. So right off the bat, you can go anywhere. You can go in any direction you want to continue the game, or you can go this way, you can go that way. You're basically making your own storyline, your own gameplay. Everyone's gameplay is going to be 100% unique, because I might go this way, but in your gameplay, you might go that way. You might not even see what I see. We're going in two different directions, and you'll never know, because it's 360. The world is completely 360. You can go anywhere. If you see it, you can go there. You can climb there, you can fly there, you can swim there, you can get there. And there's multiple ways of doing it. There was this one, just earlier I was playing, I had some friends over and watching, we're in Death Mountain. This is this minor spoiler, nothing major, but there was this, but this is, to be warned, there's a little roller coaster ride, and it leads to a shrine. I'm like, well, how do you do that? We couldn't figure it out at first, how to activate it. We're like, how do we get to the shrine? So I climbed the mountain, I hang glided down, and then I traversed, mountain climbed. This is not the way you're supposed to do it, but this is how I'm doing it. I figured I climbed around, there's lava all around, keep in mind if you fall, and then I jumped over and in, and I made it. I'm sure that's not the way that they designed it, because they're supposed to take that, train ride over, but we couldn't figure out how to get it going. So we figured out another way of doing it, and that's what the game makers wanted you to do, and that's what's different about this Legend of Zelda game, and that's what's revolutionary about this Zelda game. Completely revolutionized the system. Just like when the original one came out, just like Ocarina of Time changed the gameplay, this one changes Zelda in the best way possible. So from there's your armor system, and I'll talk briefly about it. I don't want to get too spoilery with it, but your armors, you start off with nothing, and then you have to find stuff. You have to find either, you can buy it, you can find it in treasures, you can find it through side quests. There's different abilities to each suit that you wear. You have different abilities that will help improve your strength, that will help improve your cold factor, because there's a temperature factor in the game, hot and cold, that you can withstand, and if you're below freezing temperatures, you're going to take damage. So there's gear for that. There's gear for heat, so you don't burn up and just sizzle away. There's stuff to make you more stealthily, and stuff to make you traverse mountains more, and everything has a different quality, and you're going to be constantly changing equipment. Don't just go for the straight green tunic. Good luck finding the green tunic. I was only able to get the green tunic early because of a certain amiibo. So with traversing the world in any way you would like, you can go right to the end game pretty much immediately. Not off the start, but you can go there to the final battle, against, Calamity Ganon, and see if you can win. Good luck if you do, because I tried, I couldn't survive. That's just me. It's difficult. The game is difficult. You get little goblins, just little minor goblins, one hit, bam, you're dead, you're done. Over and over, multiple times. This game is difficult. You're going to be dying, but it's very forgivable. The game is forgivable. If you die, you basically just start right off, almost where you just were with your previous items. So if you wasted all your fairies just now, if you wasted them, it's like, oh man, I just died and wasted everything. I probably shouldn't have been going in that direction. I got sidetracked and just went this way for an hour, and now I just died and lost my stuff. You'll start back a little bit and just have this. It's like, okay, so now I just won't go that way. I'll go do something else. I'll go find somewhere else that's freaking exploring, because that's the game. Is exploring. And if you beat the game right away, I've seen people saying that beat Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, beat it. It's like, you beat it already? How did you beat it? The world is massive, there's so much to explore. You're going to be spending countless hours. This is easily a 100+ hour game. Because if you beat it right away, you're not enjoying the game the way it was designed to be enjoyed. I mean, yes, they give you that option, which is what it's there for. I mean, you can enjoy it that way. You can say, hey, I beat it right away with 3 hearts. I beat it with 3 hearts, and just my junky sword. I don't know how you can do it, because I would imagine you would need the master sword for some reason. I mean, wonder why. But apparently, I mean, if you don't take a single hit of damage, which is what happens in most battles, you have to learn to not take a single hit. There's enemies that, like, if you get hit once, that's it. Game over. I've seen that game over symbol so many times already, and many people have. But the way they made it is for you to go and explore. And don't be turned off of that. Don't say, oh, but I like linear games. I like linear games. You know what? I do like linear games as well. I like Skyward Sword. But the beauty of this game is that you want to go out and discover. You do want to go out there and look and find unique items, find things that you can blow up and like, oh, there's a secret I just found, it's unlocked someplace, because you're gonna miss it otherwise, and that's okay if you miss it. You're not gonna 100% everything, and if you do, good luck. I don't know how. I mean, that's what you have the guidebook for. I guess everything's in here to tell you, that's a good way to, I'm gonna leave him down. That's a good way to figure out where everything is located in the guidebook. This was $20. It gives you everything. It tells you where stuff is. Majority, it doesn't want to break it down for your baby stuff, but it tells you stuff. So, an exploration game, 100% exploration game, and it is beautiful. They took the graphics of the game. If you could imagine Wind Waker, the style of Wind Waker, they're very bright, vibrant, cartoony colors, and the cell shading aspect, and Skyward Sword graphics if you kind of merge them two together, that's what this Breath of the Wild is. And it's beautiful. They do an amazing job with it. I mean, hands down, my favorite Zelda game in the series. Hands down, my favorite game ever. This has been the amount of joy that this game, when I first put this game in, the amount of joy that this game has brought me, I was smiling. I could not contain myself. Still, I find myself like overwhelmed with joy. There was actually a moment in the game where I shed a tear. Sadly, I have to admit that I was like, wow, this was deep. Like, this is touching. That was some heartwarming stuff. Oh my, I can't believe this. And that's what the game is. It's packed full of emotions, and it's amazing. I mean, you have to go ahead and try it out. Try it out on the Wii U if you have it. Play it on the Switch. 100% recommend this game without a doubt. This is my favorite game by far. And the way they handle the shrines and dungeons and the world in this game is a new phenomenal thing. So this is a little bit of a spoiler alert. So the shrines themselves, there's over 100 different shrines, and they're like essentially like mini dungeons. If you played Wind Waker with all the mini dungeons, all these shrines, like over 100 of them, are basically like little mini dungeons that you can go and explore and find and seek out. And you literally have to explore. Some are very well hidden that you're going to overlook and miss. So luckily you can leave little markers and landmarks in the distance to point out, like, oh, there's one. But they're like basically little mini dungeons, and they're like trials that you have to go through to get through them, and you get a bonus, you get a little orb, and for every 4, another spoiler, for every 4 orbs you can either boost your stamina, because there's a stamina, but it's handled much better than they did in Skyward Sword. But you can, boost your stamina, which allows you to run further and climb mountains further and faster without getting exhausted. Or your heart ratio. That's how you get hearts in this game. You can get your hearts that way. If you beat a dungeon, you can. The major dungeons, I believe there's only 4 major dungeons. And the dungeon, oh my gosh, I thought the game was hard, but the dungeon was... First off, to get in the dungeon, you have to just fight this enormous thing, and that was difficult in itself. And then getting in the puzzles and trials to figure out where they raised the bar for this game. The puzzles were difficult, trying to figure out what to do and puzzle pieces. And it doesn't baby you through and walk you and let you, tell you like, oh, you do this and point stuff out. You literally have to observe your surroundings and figure it out. And you're like, what do I do? And then the boss in that I'm telling you, you're gonna die. You get hit and you're dead. That's it. Game over. Luckily, he doesn't start you off at the beginning of the game. You just restart, respawn there. But it is difficult. But it's just cool how they handle, the mini dungeons and the main dungeon and the storyline and the way it progresses. And there's always when you beat one of those areas, like especially the dungeons, there's this new storyline that it gives you, that it presents you, and it's very beautiful and heartwarming. Like it makes you like become Link and like become into this game, this whole new world, this open world, this open air, so Nintendo calls it. It's beautiful. They made the game very realistic, and I don't mean by realistic as in like, you look at the game like, that looks like real life. I can't tell the difference between this video game and real life. I mean the game itself, the game physics is realistic. Everything. What sets this game apart from other like open world games, and maybe some have done this, but is the way that you interact with the environment and the game physics, the environment physics of everything. Everything is so detailed and realistic. I mean, you can literally interact with everything, you know, whether you're climbing it or moving it or anything. But to kill certain enemies, you might want to move the environment, roll a boulder, which people have seen countless things. There's other things. Chop a tree down, hit him with a tree or something. There's so much to do. Blow something up and, you know, what they're standing on, blow that platform up. But the game detail, everything is so beautiful. When you first get out into this world and you literally see everything, the dust particles and dirt floating in through the air is beautiful. The grass is way more beautiful than anything. It's not like little patches you can cut. It's just, everything just looks, it seems realistic. Like this is like a real world. The sky and the scenery is beautiful. Just the way the weather system they have here, all the clouds and rain and sun and moon and everything, it just changes beautifully. Very beautiful and very realistic. I mean, the rain, it doesn't start and stop. It subtly comes in. A storm is brewing in the distance, and the weather patterns start to change. People are running. Other NPCs, non-playable characters, are running around, and like you might see someone at this moment here during the day. But if it's storming, you're not gonna see them. You will see them run inside, and they'll go inside. And between day and night, the world is different. People are in different places. But the way the weather comes in is amazing. And then all of a sudden, it just starts raining slightly, and then it's hard. And then it starts raining hard. And now it's hard to climb the rocks and mountains. You can't climb anymore because it's so hard. It's raining. And then all of a sudden, the lightning and thunder starts going off. And if you're wearing anything with metal, you're getting struck with lightning, and you're gonna die. You're gonna die that way too. I've died so many ways. I mean, lighting yourself on fire by accident. I've walked through a fire pit, or I got too close. Poof! I ignited on fire, and I go, oh my god, yeah, I got on fire. I fell off a cliff. Like, oh, I can probably make that jump. Nope, you can't. Seeing him twist and tumble down, and his legs flip over to his back and hit himself in the head, and you're just lying there all mangled with your feet up and like, ah. I was like, oh my god, what is this? Nintendo? I mean, it was realistic. I mean, his legs got mangled and broken and twisted. So those are the realistic physics of the game. It's phenomenal the way they handled it. It's really good. I mean, I'm just so amazed by it. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the story now. This is going to be a spoiler alert. So I'm going to talk briefly about the storyline. Timestamp it down below for this spoiler of the storyline. So basically, Link wakes up. He opens your eyes, he wakes up, and he doesn't have his memories, he doesn't know what's going on. He wakes up in this shrine, and you go out, and now you have to bring back your memories. You have to discover your memories and figure out what's going on. You meet this old man, he fills you in a little bit, and gives you the details, and he tells you about Calamity Ganon and what's happened to the land of Hyrule. Everything's in ruin. The whole land is in ruin, and it's taken over by Calamity Ganon. And it's been 100 years since his reign of terror started. 100 years has passed. So Link is now savior. He's now the elected savior of the day. Why though? Why is he here? Well, basically the storyline is that the story of 10,000 years ago. 10,000 years ago was the first Legend of Zelda game. At least that's what I'm pretty sure is. I mean, all the references it back to the first Legend of Zelda game. Link and Ganon was coming to reign his power over everyone, and Link and Zelda came together and fought and sealed him away. For 10,000 years roughly, or whatever. If there's other stuff filler in there may be from other games. However, so 100 years ago in this game, Link, Zelda, and the other 5 champions got together. They all wear their blue to fight off Ganon, and they lost. They all died. They lost. Link, however, was resurrected in the resurrection shrine. So he was brought back to fight the battle. This is 100 years later. He's been resting for 100 years, and Ganon rained his terror on everyone. So now, but he's lost all his memories. So you're regaining your memories to figure out the story. And it's beautiful how they do it. So it's just not one big chunk of storyline. You got to search out for the stories. You have to go out and search for the story for your memories and piece together the stories. And it's beautiful how they do it. Because you can miss some of it. You might miss some of that. So if you don't explore, you're gonna miss out on some of that storyline. So that's all as far as I've gotten. Now, I haven't beaten the game yet, so I can't tell you what goes on further on, but that's the basic of it, which is just like every other Legend of Zelda game. But that's the storyline in a nutshell, so that's the end of the spoilers for that section. That's basically my review. I 100% recommend this game. I am enjoying this game so much. There's so much to do. The systems of everything is just beautiful. 100% recommend it. Hands down, my favorite game, #1. 100%. So I'm going to go ahead and play the game now. I'm going to get back to it. I got a lot of interesting stuff going on, and I'm excited to play more and figure out what's going on. So thank you for joining us today for another episode of Wormys Playhouse. And please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you for another episode. We'll see you then. Bye! This Link character, he's a pretty cool guy.